Okay. Throwback Thursdays with your man Rory T. Edwards. What's going on? What's going on? Definitely got to make this one not as long as I like to because I got to get on the phone. Have a very important call that I'm trying to take the Rory T. Edwards group to the next level. So we're definitely going to get right in and jump in. You saw the topic. Today's Throwback Thursday comment is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now, many of us who may be listening heard this many times growing up. You probably still hear people still are telling you not to put all your eggs in one basket. And so, but many people have been very successful over the course of their life, putting all of their eggs in their basket, because in most cases, some people look at that egg in the basket as being their employment. So people who have gone through many years of employment and have successfully been able to retire and receive a pension say that I put all my eggs in one basket and it worked out for me. But what we talk about is the what if. Just what if something happened where you put all your eggs in the basket and you tripped and you fell and some of your eggs were cracked. So I want to preface this story, this segment based on a story that sort of gave me a revelation on why I'm talking about this. When I first started this business many years ago, my first contract was in a place called Dearborn, Michigan. Now it's on the outskirts of Detroit. Went there, linked up with my cousin. He and I were hanging out. We were in the store. And I saw this older gentleman and I just happened to glimpse over and see an amazing watch that he had. And I complimented the gentleman on the watch and I said, "That's a nice watch." And he said, "Would you like to hear about this watch?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "Would you like the long story or the short story?" And I said, "Sir, no disrespect, but since we are in this particular environment and there's probably people behind us, let's do the short story." So he says, "Well, let me explain something to you." He said, "I worked for one of the major car dealerships for over 47 years. He said, in that time of 47 years, I never missed a day of work. He said, they had to force me to take my vacations. And this was the watch they gave me upon me getting to a certain point in my career of commitment to the company." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." I said, "So they spent a little money?" Because they made a lot of money off of cars. And he says, "Well, yeah. I said, so now you're enjoying your retirement and enjoying everything?" And he says, "Well, there's another part to the story." He says, "So one day, like every other Friday, I was working, the bell sounded, I checked out, I left the building and went home, did my weekend routine. And then on Monday, I got up and I came to the plant and the plant was closed." He said, "The plant looked like it never existed." He said, "The thing was for me is that they moved all of that stuff within 2 days without anybody in the community even knowing that it was being moved out." And I said, "You probably had to be totally upset with that, right?" And he said, "Young man, let me tell you something." He said, "This is the lesson I want you to take from this." He said, "In every session, every situation, there's a lesson and there's a blessing." He said, "Let me tell you the blessing first." He said, "The blessing was that with me working in this establishment, I was able to put 4 children through college." He said, "All of my children are successful." He said, "All of my children would have never been able to go to college if it wasn't for this organization." He said, "Now the lesson." He said, "The lesson is that never put all your eggs in one basket." He said, "I gave this company 47 years of my life." He said, "The one thing that I thought they could have did is at least walk up to me and whisper in my ear, 'Don't get up on Monday because we won't be here.'" He said, "If they could have just did that to me, I wouldn't have this little bitty bitter taste in my mouth." He said, but I definitely can't complain about my 4 children being able to go to college and all receiving their degrees." So I say that story just to let you know that there are opportunities for us to put all our eggs in one basket, but there are also opportunities that will give us the chance to say that I'm not going to put all all of my eggs in one basket. And because we have to diversify our portfolio of life sometime. We have to take our portfolio of life and we have to put it in areas for which we have a lane of strength. But there are some things that I say that you need to put your eggs in one basket, all your eggs in one basket. And let me tell you what I think those are. One is our children. You don't get an opportunity. See, it's a blessing to be able to have children. If you don't believe me, ask someone who hasn't been able to have children, or ask someone who has just come from the hospital and lost their first child. It's a blessing to have a child. So if you are grateful, if you have been blessed with a child, you need to put all of your resources into your child's life. Put everything that you were gifted with, or everything that you can gift them with, so that you produce the best child ever. That's what I talked about last week. The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. The tree is the foundation. The roots are the foundation. The tree is what you establish in your life to make sure that the foundation of the roots have an opportunity to grow and to produce the positive fruit that is from the tree. The second thing, invest in never, ever stop learning. Some of us get to a point where we think that we reach a certain age that we know more than what we think we know until we realize we really don't know. And so what that does is that sometimes causes people to get into disagreements because they believe they know something that they really have no clue about. They're just trying to be included in the conversation to feel somewhat, and sometimes feeling that you have you can make a contribution. But sometimes the greatest gift is listening. But the one thing that I said is never, ever stop investing in lifelong learning. That's another thing. You need to put all your eggs in one basket to continue to learn. The third thing that I think that you should put all your eggs in one basket is never stop pursuing your dream and determining your value and worth. Now, it's not determined by other people, it's determined by you. And so if you put all your eggs in your basket, and then you can withdraw what you did deposit. Because if you don't, what you actually will do is withdraw. You will try to make a withdrawal on something you did not deposit. And so I say put all of your investments, all of your eggs in the investment, in investing in yourself. And the fourth thing that I think that you should put all your eggs in is never stop believing that love does not exist. Now, some people are going to look at love with an individual. Some people are going to look at love from their parents. Some people are going to look at love from people who like what you put on Facebook, your social media followers. You know, the people love me because I have 5,000 followers. No, people are just nosy. People need to be in your business sometimes. So everybody who follows you doesn't mean that they love you. Find out and define what love means, and then invest and put all your eggs in the investment that love does exist. And the last thing that I like to say is that you put all your eggs in the basket is of your legacy. On the day that you leave this earth, your legacy is the dash that is between your birthday and your homegoing. And what that dash will tell people is what you contributed to your legacy. And your legacy is the most important thing that you can possibly leave on this earth. Now, it may be through some contributions that you made. It may be through your children. It may be through contributions and investments that you made in other people's children. So your legacy is going to determine what you contributed to this earth while you were on this earth. But one of the things that I like to say is that the term putting all your eggs in one basket meant that when you invest in something that is of value to you, you give it your all. You give it everything that you possibly have. And if you sit there and you give it your all, the outcomes will be exactly what the roots of your foundation were planted in. And so from that, I would just say that investing and putting all your eggs in one basket will determine your return on your investment into what you believe was of value. And so diversify your portfolio. Diversify the opportunities for your eggs to be distributed nationally, internationally. And then people really understand that you have invested and have distributed your eggs in baskets that have made a major contribution to the masses. This is your man, Rory T. Edwards. I have to get prepared for another important conversation. And all I can do is believe that the Creator has it in his hands and it'll be just as successful, because what I am doing is I am investing in me continuing to learn, and I am putting my eggs in this particular basket, believing that what I have developed and put together is worthy of me sharing my eggs in the basket with those who really truly need what I bring to the table. It's your man, Rory T. Edwards. I truly appreciate those who signed in and watched the Throwback Thursdays about don't put your eggs in one basket. And so if you'd like to reach out to me, please send me an email. Please send me an email at rorytedwards1@gmail.com, or please go to my website, www.rorytedwards.com. And definitely we can continue to build, and we'll definitely be posting motivational and inspirational and transformational thoughts on our stories, on our webpage. But definitely reach out to us, and please share this message, because I think a lot of people believe that putting their eggs all in one basket will not develop the outcomes that they will want, and they will, and it can. All right. So this is your man, Rory T. Edwards, and I guarantee you that this message should and will change some of the ways you see things about putting all your eggs in one basket. That's where it's born. All right. We'll talk to you real soon. You have an amazing Thursday. Be blessed.